Okay, I just wanted to do a quick tutorial on Lightburn and what the tools are on Lightburn. The first thing is just how to navigate around in here. It's mainly with the mouse wheel. So scrolling the mouse wheel in and out, zoom you in and out, then holding the mouse wheel down and moving the mouse wheel pan around. And that's pretty much all you need with that. I'm going to start with the square tool because this selection tool, I need something to select for that. So I'm going to start with the square. With a square, if you hold shift, it'll give you an actual square. If you don't, it'll let you just, put it wherever you want. So I'll start with one square there. I'll put two squares just to start. And now go back to this selection tool. And now this is select, because I've done this one last, it selected that one. But to select these, if you drag across from the left to the right when it's red, if you fit it all in, it'll select it. If you don't fit it all in, if you just missed a bit, it wouldn't. So if you had a load of stuff in the middle that you wanted to cut out, but you didn't want to take the outside box, you could just drag that across. If you drag it from right to left, now that anything it touches, it will select. So this pen tool, you can just basically draw, any shape you want with this one, and then connect it back up, and now this will become its own shape. So if I click this one, you can see it's all connected and following around. The next one, rectangular polygon. With this one, I'm just going to hold shift and drag it out. And now with this one, if you go over here to shape properties, you'll see it's got the sides. If you don't see this, if you go up the top here to window, and then you just click the one you want, you'll see shape properties is there. It's already ticked on mine. So shape properties, and now you can change the amount of sides. So if you wanted a triangle, you can turn that down to 3 sides. So now, or you can, make it any number you want. So that's handy sometimes, like if you would need a different shape. It's like a triangle. You can't really, without doing it with a pen, there's no other really way to do it. So that can be a handy one. The next tool is the node editing tool. And with this one, if you hover over it for long enough, it'll drop down that menu, which will give you all the shortcuts to what everything would do. But if you try and use it now on these, it won't let you, because these squares, circles, stuff like that, the pen, it will allow me because it's got these nodes already drawn out. But it don't allow you with boxes. So what you have to do is go to the select tool and select them. I'll even select the triangle as well. Right click, and then let me right click up here so you can see it better. Right click and then convert to a path. And now these are paths. So if I go back to that tool now, you can see now it's giving me these corners which can be dragged around. Or if you hold shift and drag it, it will stay on the same line unless you move it enough, and then it'll start to pick up different angles. But as long as you keep your mouse roughly in the right place, it'll move in a straight line. You can select 2 and move 2 together, and same. All you got to remember after is just click off if you want to select another one, and then and you just have to look with these tools. I'll just quickly show a couple of them. If you wanted to smooth out a surface, you just press S for smooth. If you want to delete a surface, you just press delete, and it'll delete between them 2 points. If you didn't want to delete it all, for say I just wanted to delete it to the middle, you can press M, and it will put you in a little node in the middle now, and now you could just delete that half. If you wanted it in a specific spot, you can just press I to insert the nodes wherever you want. So now if you press D, it will only go between those 2. And with this, I mean, you can do a lot with these. So if you know, now you can move these around. You can press S to smooth them out. If you press L, it'll change it back to a line again. So now it's not smoothed out anymore. And then, they just snap together to reconnect. I think if yours don't snap together, if you look up here, is it this one? Just make sure you've got this up the top under these cogs. Make sure you've got snap to objects ticked, and then it should just snap right on wherever you drop it. And now you can see it's made a path again. The next tool is if you want to leave tabs on something. So if you was cutting something and you don't want it to fall out from the material, you could just put tabs wherever you want them. And then you'll see now if I go to preview and I zoom in far enough, they're quite small. You can see it's left little openings everywhere where I put them tabs. So now I ain't going to cut this material, so it'll just be held in by a little piece of material. Yeah, and the next one's the text tool. You can just press Control and T is the shortcut, or you can just click over here on it. And now wherever you click, it's gonna, you can start writing out your text. If you want your text a bit bigger, this is what I normally do. If you type in what you want, and then go back to your selection tool, and now you can just stretch it from there. If you want to like curve it or something, you can pick up that little blue dot on it. If you're going around a circle or around a little bend, you can just manipulate it with that. If you stretch from the middles here, it'll stretch it longer. But if you stretch from a corner, it'll scale it all together. So just make sure, if you want it all to stay the same size, you scale it from the corners. And then one thing I didn't mention, but is anything you have selected up the top here, it's going to tell you the width and the height of that selection. So you can see if I click this one, now it's only 3 inches nearly and 7.5 inches long. So yeah, and if you work in millimeters, it's just here, inches to millimeters. Okay, next tool. You need it connected to the laser for this tool. This is to set your location on the laser. If you wanted to send a location and find out, if I wanted to know where this corner was, I would just click this tool, zoom in, click right on this corner, and now the actual laser head on the laser would move across to this corner. Mine ain't connected to the laser at the moment, so I can't show you that one, but basically wherever you click, it's going to move your laser to that point. The next one, the ruler, you can just, these tabs that pop up, just grab them by the top and move them out of the way. This ruler will just tell you the length basically of any side, and if you click and drag, it'll snap to, if you click and drag it, snap to the other side, and then you can see if you need to measure something in particular, you can do it like that, or you can just go around the edge and it'll tell you the space between the nodes, basically. So that's that tool. The next one, I'll select this for this one, offset, which you got the choice here to offset it outwards, which would make it go outside, inwards, which is going now inside my original line, or both, so now it's inside and out. This is the distance, what it's going to be offset. So I mean, you can take that and type your own number, or you can just move it with that. This is just for how you want the corners. I mean, if it was bigger, you can see if I round the corners, it rounds them. If you leave it at a corner, you see they're back to a point. So that's what that does. These over here is what's going to happen, you know, when you say OK, this is going to select the resulting object. So now it's going to select the two lines that are made. I'll say for this one, delete original. So it's going to delete this original one. And I'll leave optimize and simplify results. So now that's given me this. So yeah, that's basically with offset what you can do. Let me just clear some of this off a second. And to clear something like that, I'll just go over the whole lot and then press backspace. And that will delete them all. The next tool, okay, I'll draw two squares like this. For the next tool, for these ones, you've got to have two shapes selected at the same time, because this is to, you know, cut parts out of the shape. So what you do is you select the two shapes you want, make sure you're on the selection tool, and by holding shift you can select. So I select that one, hold shift, select that one. So now I've got two. So this, it kind of shows you it's gonna take away everything that's in the center and leave the outside line. So there you go, you can see it took that apart. So now you just got control. If you press control and Z, that'll take you back one step, or it'll take you back as many steps as you want, but that's how I go back and forward on mine. If I'd done it if I used this one, it would basically do the same thing on this image, is take the centers out. This next one is going to remove everything on the outside depending which way you selected them. So if I selected that one first and that one and done it, it's going to leave me that half. If I do it the other way around, select that one first and then that one, it's going to leave me this half. So depending which one you select first is going to matter there. And then this last one, you can kind of see it does show you roughly on these. This is going to take everything away from the outside and leave the center. So it's just leaving the square in the center now. It's cutting all this away and just leaving the parts that we've crossed. All right, this next one down, the array tool, with the squares here, if you select that, it'll bring up this little box, and now you can like duplicate these items and space them, you know, however you want. So if you want to fit a lot of stuff onto, if you wanted to cut a lot of circles, that would be the way to do it. Let me just, I'm going to go across. I'm going to add some more X columns. And then you can do the Y columns. You can see this is below 0, so that's why they're overlapping each other. So 0. Or what I'll do is I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it there. So now you've got the same spacing. But you can see they're going up off the laser. So what you need to do there is reverse the direction. So now you see they're going down. And to get these like nested together better, you can use these shift columns. A good way that I find to do this is, let's just put this back to 0. You say OK. Once you've got two rows, select this bottom row. Now move it up and like into place. Just making sure it ain't overlapping the others. And now select them all again. Go back to the array tool. Go in the Y direction. You can see now. See now you could change this spacing. You can see there. You could really fit a lot on the laser there. So that's really handy for something like that. The next tool, just get rid of some of these. It's going to be, yeah, the circle array tool. basically it does the same thing but in a circle. So you say how many copies you want, and you can see there it'll add the extra copies. See, this is how far you want it from the centre. This 171, really that should be 360 because we want to make a circle. And yeah, basically you just change these around to get what you want. So the bigger you make this, the, you know, now you can see it's made a circle. You can keep going and it'll split apart. So just, and if you want to, you know, do something in a circle like that. The next one will set the start point of where you want your laser. So, I mean, you can see this starting this way and it's going that way. You know, it's starting from here and it's going this way. If you hold Alt and click on it, if you hold Shift and click on it, you can see now it's going down. If you hold Alt, and click on it, it'll go back the other way. So Shift and click, Alt and click. And now if you Alt and click on a different corner, it'll move it to where you want to start. If you wanted to start in a particular place going a particular way, you could just do it with that. So Shift and click. So now if we want it in this corner, Alt and click. And now if we want it facing this way, Shift and click. And now if I do a preview, it should start from that corner and go that way. Yep. And the last tool there, radius tool, you just pick the size that you want the radius on the corner. You see as you get near a corner, it'll give you that little curve. You click that and you can see its radius, that corner. I mean, the bigger, you know, whatever size you want it. If you want it 1 inch, you want it 3 inches. Oh, well, let me, oh yeah, it does. See if I've done this one 3 inches as well. You can see it's nearly made a circle. But yeah, so nice, you know, if you was doing little business cards or something like that, just to round off these corners. Just neaten stuff up a bit sometimes, or if you've got a sharp edge that you don't want sticking out, you can just hit that and round it off. So yeah, that's basically just the tools there and how to use some of them. I'll leave that at that for now, and then I'll do one on this side with, you know, cuts and stuff. The only other main things I use, let me just quickly go a couple of them, is if you select one object and then select another and say center, it will center the first object you clicked into the second. So if I did that again, but this time I'll click this one and then this one, you see now it's moved that. So the one that you click first is the one that's going to move. So that one. Yeah, whichever one you click first is the one that's going to move to the center. Now, if you wanted these others, just align it with, I mean, most of them it tells you there. Align it with the left, align it with the right. Same with this one, align it to the top. So now, you know, this mirrors it. So if you're etching on acrylic or something like that, this will mirror it the other way. Grouping, that will group them together. So now if you click one, they're both grouped. So it's handy if you've got something finished and you don't want nothing to move, you can group it together while you work on something else, and it'll stay together. And if you move it, you're not going to leave something behind. Whereas if you've got single and you grab this and you move it, and now, you know, that's left behind. I mean, if you did, all you have to do is press Control and Z until it goes back. I mean, you can make, if I make a few moves, and now Control and Z, just, yeah, until you get back to where you want it. And that's most of them really. This is a preview button to show you what's being cut. Mine's only showing this because I have selected graphics, so I've selected them both. They were doing both. I use this cut selected graphics most of the time. It's good to get used to really, because it's just easier sometimes if you've got quite a few designs and you want to send certain things, or I just find it easier to use that. Okay, I'm going to leave that at that because that's getting long, and I'll be back with another video on some of the other tools and how to use them. So thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, and I'll be back soon with another video.